We'll be calculating how to get measurements for cutting your Caribbean gown flay. Normally there's a measurement for it, because you can't just cut it anyhow. Those type of flay, they're not supposed to be too full and supposed to be too small. So that is what we'll be learning how to calculate. Then this Caribbean gown, I'm actually attaching it to the upper part. Yeah, I already have a tutorial for cutting the half cut. Now the length of this of the half cut is a length of 19 inches. Then the waist is 39 inches plus 1 inch for zip allowance. That's the round waist. We'll be using the round waist to get our calculations. Now, how do you now calculate your first step? Because I'm going to be doing 3 steps for this tutorial. You can do 2 steps, you can do 3 steps. Now, if you are to minus 19 from 60 inches, the total length for this dress is a dress of 60 inches. So if you minus 19, that's the half cut length. What we have left is 41 inches. So now let's calculate the first step. So guys, now for the upper border is the waist, the round waist of 40. Now you're going to be adding 30 inches to it. Yes, we'll be adding 30 inches to the first step, to the second step, and the third step. So now I'm actually using a light fabric. If you are to use a very thick fabric, you add 15 inches. Yes. So now, because this fabric is very light, so we need the gathers to be much a bit, to be visible. So if 40 plus 30, that's 70 inches for the width, for the wideness, not the length, guys, for the wideness. Yeah. So step 2, now you're going to add 30 to the 70 inches. So step 2 will now be 100 inches wide. That is the wideness of what you're cutting. Now step 3, guys, will now be 100 plus 30 inches wide. 100 plus 30 inches wide. Now we are cutting the width, not the length. Yes, we are cutting the width, the wideness of how full the flay is going to be. So guys, now we are now going to cut the 3-step length now. So if the remaining length of 41 inches, you divide it by 3. You know, if you minus 19 inches from 60, the total length of the dress, we have 41. Now you're going to divide the 41 by 3. So guys, I got 13.65, but I'll be using 13.5, yeah, for easy understanding. Now, so step 1, guys, now this is the length now, not the wideness. The wideness was what we calculated in the first place. Now step 1 will be 13.5. Step 2 also will be 13.5. Now step 3 will now be, we'll be adding 3 inches, because all the allowance we're supposed to add, the sewing allowance for joining each steps together. Yeah, everything is going to be added to the last step. Do you understand? Everything is going to be added to the last step. So let's say you now add 3 inches, because you are still going to hem the down part of the dress, like turning it, like hemming it. So you now add 3 inches to it. That is, the last step will now be 16.5. Meanwhile, the first and the second step is 13.5, while the last step only, that's for the length, will now be 16.5. So I hope you all understand this. So guys, after this, now we'll be cutting it on the fabric. Now I've cut all the 3 steps on the fabric, and I've also run a gather stitch on them. Now I'm trying to gather the first step first. The first step, you're going to gather it to the actual waist measurement. Then that's for the round waist measurement, yeah, of 40 inches. Yeah, so now guys, I run a gather stitch on both the up and the down parts, but you're only going to gather just the upper part. Yes, can you see? Because the other side, you just need to have the gather plate there. but we're not going to gather it here. It's just the plates we need there, because if you gather it, it will be too small to accommodate the next step. Yes, so I'm just going to do that for both everything here. For the second step too, I'll run a gather stitch on both the up one and the down one. Yes, so now guys, after that, for the third step, I'm only going to run a gather stitch on only one part. Yes, because this down part, we need to hem it. That's the third step. Yeah, we will hem it. That place doesn't need a gather stitch. It's just this upper part that needs a gather stitch. I hope you understand. So I'm going to be sewing the 3 steps now. Yeah, so sew it after sewing the steps one after the other, from the first, the second to the third. This is what I have. Yeah, you can see that it's looking very pretty and neat. Yeah, so our Caribbean dress is almost getting ready. Yeah, so the next thing I'll be doing now is to weave them. Yeah, I'll weave all the steps. Then I'm going to be attaching the upper borders to it. Yeah, so I already sewed that upper one. I'm just trying to show you the finished look. If not, I'll just show you just that 3 step, but I just want to show you how it is. Now I'm trying to notch the middle part, so that's because you have to notch the middle of the upper borders and the middle of the gathers, so that everything will just match each other. Yeah, so that is me trying to notch. So after notching, then I'll be sewing it. Yes, I'll be sewing it with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Yeah, so I'm going to be placing it and sew. So just watch the way I do. That is what I'm trying to show you. Now sew it here. This tutorial, if this tutorial has been helpful to you, kindly give me a thumbs up. Like this video, share it to your loved ones, and subscribe to my channel. So this is the finished look after sewing them the up to the down part. Now our Caribbean or gypsy dress is ready. Yeah, it's ready. So the next thing I'll be doing is fixing a zip. Bye guys.